Wanted to jump on again. I've just been here live and to just talk a little bit about how my work is evolving with one-to-one clients, and I'm really now getting kind of massive downloads around people's past lives and their sort of childhood wounds. And it's really important that we look at this stuff, because you may want to understand why you're sabotaging your health with certain negative habits. You know, it might be eating too much chocolate or drinking too much wine. It might be being a workaholic. It might be people pleasing. Or you might be at a point in your life where you're just getting so frustrated by things. You really want to move forward and you just feel totally stuck. And in order to change those, you have to look at your past and you have to clear what's sitting in your aura, that's what's sitting in your physical body, in your emotional body, in your many different bodies, and really get underneath what's holding you back, because it is so much easier to make changes, healthy changes, whether they're physical in terms of dietary or lifestyle or whatever, when you actually love yourself and care about yourself. And the only way that you can love and care about yourself is by acknowledging what's going on for you and how you feel inside. And most of us are struggling with emotional baggage that comes from not only our childhood, but our ancestry, so our family history, the families we were born into, and past lives. And there may be people who listen to this and say, well, I don't believe in past lives. Well, anybody who has any connection to spirit knows that there is no way you've not been here before. I mean, maybe occasionally you'll get somebody it's their first time here, and so the memories that come through and the traumas that come through from what you've been carrying in your past are absolutely fascinating. I was writing an email to a client, which I always do after client sessions, because one thing I discovered was when I go for a therapy session, whatever kind of session it is, the most frustrating thing for me is I don't always remember what happened in the session, and then I find it difficult to sort of progress from that place. So there is transformation that occurs within the session, those light bulb moments where you clear something in that moment with your therapist, and that's wonderful. But it's also nice to remember elements of that session that you can refer back to, and also to see how far you've come. So I take great effort after each session to write an email with the main insights and also what you can do. So the actions, what you can do to help yourself. And I was writing an email to a client yesterday, and I'd had a lot of downloads about various past lives and the importance of him now sort of reclaiming his power and really stepping into his power, rising up. And what's interesting is you know, every so often you meet these people and they really are pure of heart. It's there's no other word to describe it. They have a pure heart. They're humble and they want to give and they want to help others, but they are held back by all of the traumas of their past, you know, the not good enough and all of those things. And this is why it's so important to do this inner work, to clear out the stuff that doesn't serve you anymore, so that you can be the shining light that you were born to be, and fully step into your power. And it was interesting because I was writing something with the word rich, the rich fabric of life, or I use it in that term, something like that. And I wrote Reich, R-E-I-C-H, Reich. And I've learned to really pay attention to mistakes like that, or what appear to be mistakes, because they're usually little glimpses into our soul's past. And I immediately became aware that this poor guy, this poor man, had been under the Third Reich as a Jew. So you can imagine the torment, the violence that his soul will have suffered in that lifetime. And we've been here many, 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 many lifetimes. So you can imagine the build-up of those lifetimes and how that can sit in your system and cause havoc and prevent you from moving forward. You know, if you've lived under the Third Reich as a Jew, the amount of fear that would have been, you would have experienced, you know, I can't even imagine. I can only imagine. So yeah, amazing, isn't it? This work is so powerful. And the more that you work on yourself, the more psychic you become. The more you work on yourself, the more you clear your baggage, the clearer your connection to your true self and your psychic powers grow, and your third eye gets brighter and stronger, your sixth sense, your intuition, and you start to live from that place of intuition, and your mind becomes your servant, not your master. That is what is so important here, is that we recognize that we live our lives from a place of from our true source, from our soul, from our intuition, not from our mind that makes up all sorts of stories and has all sorts of memories. It's not that the mind shouldn't be there, of course it should, but it needs to be our servant. Anyway, just thought I'd share that with you, because it's very exciting to be doing this work in this day and age as more and more people open up, more and more people want to experience the light. You need to own your shadow. You need to deal with that. You need the shadow and the light, of course. And to do this work, honestly, is such a joy for me and brings me such gratitude to be able to do it. So if you're interested in becoming your best self and recognizing your potential and actually essentially loving yourself, because I still struggle. The other day, I just couldn't love myself. Whatever, I'd been triggered, and for love nor money, it took me all day to feel good about myself. You know, no matter how much I sprayed the self-love spray on myself and I sat in meditation, it was a very hard day. And so, you know, of course, I still struggle with it. I'm human. So if you're interested in this work and you're interested in becoming the best you can be, whether it's you want to have healthier habits or you just want to feel good, you want to understand yourself better and to be able to help others also, because we all need to work together, then do get in touch and we can have a chat.